Good morning. I'm John Aaron.
And I'm Michelle Basch. Teddy Gelman is our producer.
The top story we're following: the fallout continues from a massive attack on at least 8 U.S. telecommunications providers by Chinese hackers. A White House official says the intent was to spy on top U.S. political officials, and it was part of a larger campaign that affected dozens of other countries. Senior U.S. intelligence officials provided a classified briefing to senators yesterday. Virginia Senator Mark Warner, who chairs the Intelligence Committee, calls this the worst telecom hack in U.S. history.
Joining us live on Skype with more, WTOP's national security correspondent, J.J. Green. J.J., good morning. How did these hackers get into the U.S. telecom system, and what are they looking for?
Yeah, good morning, Michelle and John. This hack group, it's called TYPHOON. They infiltrated major U.S. telecommunications networks by exploiting vulnerabilities in core network components, such as routers, which were manufactured by a company called Cisco. These routers are important for the infrastructure of companies like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Lumen Technologies. There are 5 other companies that have been exploited, but we don't know the names of them. And they were after credentials, obtaining login information to gain unauthorized access to network systems. They wanted to exploit software vulnerabilities, take advantage of unpatched security, and they used custom malware to do this. And they appear to be after everything they can get, from contact lists to phone calls to details about people who've been targeted, who they've called, and it's been concentrated in the Washington area. So far, what we know. So a lot of potentially high-profile people have been targeted.
And JJ, this hack is still ongoing?
It absolutely is. The FBI, CISA, and others are investigating this, but they say the full scope of the intrusion is under assessment right now, but complete eradication of this threat from all networks has not been achieved. And the reason is the complexity of the U.S. telecom system. It has a lot to do with the fact that much of the technology is really old and decrepit, and it simply cannot be patched with today's systems. I mean, it's like trying to insert a floppy disk into a modern computer. It simply can't be done. So they're going to have to rebuild and replace a whole lot of stuff.
Well, who's been affected, and what can be done to protect yourself?
The exact number of individuals, Michelle, that have been impacted by this, we don't know. It's under investigation. We've talked about this core number of high-profile 100 to 150 national security officials and political officials, but there are lots more people, including government officials and including possibly everyday people. And what makes this worse is it's not confined to the U.S. It's a global campaign. So anybody on one of those networks we talked about that called somebody from another country could be caught up in this. So what can be done? There is some advice that the CISA and FBI have put out to people and companies. The companies, that's too technical to get into right now, but for people, update your devices. Make sure that your firmware has been updated. Secure your home network. Change your default passwords and stuff on routers. Use strong passwords, the stuff you usually hear, but also multi-factor or two-factor at least authentication. Keep an eye on your network. And the most important thing probably is using encrypted apps wherever you can, or even encrypting your phone calls. That's the key thing that most people can do immediately.